He should have popped a vest over just for extra style points though. The US military extracting hell for all of its resources. I am not gonna lie, seeing Ebony and Ivory animated like that puts a genuine smile on my face. I like how he's doing tricks with them and doing rainstorm types of moves. That shit is pretty cool, not gonna lie. There's Virgil with a DMC3 looking Yamato, and those action scenes look pretty cool. But I'm afraid of what Adi Shankar is gonna do to Virgil's character, not gonna lie. He was already kinda dumb in the last season. The way he sliced that chopper off, I mean, my biggest fear is that they turn him into Virgil Bin Laden. My hope is for that not to be the case, but hey, you never know with Adi Shankar. For real, Addy, if there's like one scene of Virgil going into a Nilo Angelo Devil Trigger, and he's doing the "you're going to die" attack in DMC5 where he flies at you, but instead of flying at Dante, he ends up like flying through two perpendicular buildings, trust me dude, you're gonna piss off the entire goddamn fan base. I mean, hey, the last season ended with hell as a representation for Iraq, which is dumb and retarded in my opinion. In terms of how Dante looks, I get what he's going for here. There's that one concept art of DMC3 Dante where he just has like the turtleneck and a very similar looking jacket. It's a neat little callback to that design, but it kinda makes him look like a nerfed DMC1 Dante. Still, I'm glad that design is getting some love here. I'm just gonna hyperfixate on this one shot and just mention the fact that someone pointed this out on Twitter. This motherfucker looks a lot like Markiplier in his earlier days. It's not even funny, man. In fact, no, it's ridiculously funny. I take that back. It is funny as all hell, man. I am the storm that plays Five Nights at Freddy. That sort of vibe. That's what I'm getting from this angle with Virgil in it, you know what I mean? They should have made the hair a bit wider. It ends off with Dante young Bosch and Virgil apply her fighting off in the rain, kinda like what was happening in Devil May Cry 3. So, what are my thoughts on the trailer? The action itself does look pretty good. I just hope that these god-awful 3D renders don't make an appearance in this season. That shit took me out of the vibe of the show. I know Nell Goldstein shows up. After all, she's making him Ebony and Ivory, and Dante's pretty much testing him out here. However, I'm not the biggest fan of him being Darkcom's sort of Alucard agent where they tell him, alright, go here, kill them demons there, do this, do that. I'm sort of used to Dante being his own free agent, running his own Devil May Cry shop, getting most of his job from customers, you know, that sort of ordeal. That is pretty much Dante. He's a merc. Dante is a merc for hire. A lot of the times, whether he chooses to accept the mission or not at the end of the day, it's his choice. It depends on if he finds the gig fun or if the client is gonna pay him a decent sum of cash. Let's be real for a second here. In the last season, he should have been going by Tony Redgrave. The Berettas that he had should have been a constant rental from Nell Goldstein. Yeah, she should have been in the last season of the show, not this one. Don't tell me that they're gonna have Tony Redgrave be his codename. All what I'm trying to say here is I am very iffy about Dante being a government lapdog. Here's the part that worries me the worst, and that's gonna be Virgil's characterization. It was already set up in the last season that he willingly works for Mundus, which is already a boneheaded ass decision from a writing standpoint when it comes to this character. He wanted power so that he would be strong enough to protect himself and those around him. Yes, he did want to best Dante, but still, he will never willingly go out of his way to actually work for the guy who fucked him over. By the end of DMC3 when he's in hell, right? He sees the three glowing eyes of Mundus and he's like, alright, if my pops took him down, then I can take him down, and he throws the Yamato sheath. It's kind of like he knows that he might not come out of this one, but he'd rather die an honorable warrior than to go out as a wimp. But when Mundus enslaved him and turned him into Nilo Angelo, he was essentially giving him a fate much worse than death, really. for this Virgil to willingly walk over to Mundus and be like, yeah, I actually want to work for you, man. It takes away all of the pride and all of the motivation that makes Virgil, Virgil. It takes away his pride, and that's a main aspect of his own character. Yes, he's still prideful after the events of DMC5 if you play the Punishing Grey Raven collab, even though he's much more chill, and he matured past the DMC5 events. Still, at the same time, he's still a proud man. He's a proud warrior at the end of the day. Oh, and the last season when Virgil willingly handed his amulet over to the White Rabbit, what the fuck were you thinking, you absolute dumbass? Giving away your half of one of the most powerful keys to hell to some random nobody? It's like some dude having an expensive ass sports car and handing the keys over to some random who he doesn't even know if he can drive it or not. The thing about DMC3 Virgil is that he would never hand the amulet over to a single soul. He didn't give it over to Arkham for safekeeping. He sure as hell did not hand it over to Dante after he got defeated by his brother. Here's the thing, in his Nilo Angelo days, he managed to safeguard it with his own life. Yeah, as Nilo Angelo, he protected that shit with his own life. I bet Mundus did not have a clue that that chain was still on him. Still, my concerns about Virgil could be resolved if the plot twist is he was brainwashed all of this time. Then it would make sense. He might even get his own devil trigger then. But still, this is a wait and see situation. I'm just hoping that he has learned from the last season. It would be nice if Mary doesn't swear like a 14-year-old who just discovered 4chan. I do see a huge emphasis spotlighting Dante and Virgil. I just hope that there's no switcheroo, kind of like in the last season where the spotlight was on Dante, but Dante was more of a secondary character in his own show, where Lady was just the MC. That kinda pissed me off last time around. I'm just hoping that, the focus is on Dante and Virgil, and it's not a switcheroo situation where it's like, no, it's another show of Lady. It's Lady, Mary, and Arkham Season 2, not the Season 2 where we promised you Dante and Virgil. That's what I'm hoping at the end of the day, that the focus is on Dante and Virgil. I know they're still going from the Season 1 plot, but it would be nice if it's not as heavy-handed on the political spectrum as the last season was. It would be nice. I just hope that this is not a 9/11 commentary. And yeah, with that out of the way, we come to the end of this ramble. What were your guys' thoughts on it, and did you see the leaks on Twitter, and what was your thoughts on the trailer? Let me know down below in these comments. If you liked the video, hit the video up with a like. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button and smash that subscribe button real impact style. Once I reach the 10,000 sub mark, I am gonna be doing a real life Dante combo video wearing the entire cosplay. Shit is gonna be insane, and yeah, we are pretty close to that milestone. Be sure to turn on notifications to get notified on whenever I upload a brand new Devil May Cry or other action game video. This has been me, the Devil Joe, signing out. Catch y'all later, and bye-bye.